Welcome to the Stretch to Go podcast. My name is Ian Ray, your host. Today I have Kate Corleison from Melbourne, Victoria, Australia. She's the founder of Paper Krane. As you can see, you might see this on the Barefoot Shoes. Very colorful, very vibrant, and very classic. Kate, welcome to the Stretch to Go podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Since this is your first podcast, I always start off with who are you? How did you get into Barefoot Shoes? And how did you come up with the name Paper Krane?
Okay. Well, my name's Kate. I'm actually from New Zealand, but I live in Australia and have lived here for over a decade now. I came up with the idea for Paper Krane because when I got married, I folded a whole bunch of paper cranes. I was actually living in South Korea at the time when I was doing that. I just love the idea of, when moving to Australia, doing something that involved creating, using my brain. I love shoes, always have. And I just wanted to make something that wasn't really available at the time, which was like a little foot-shaped shoe. So I started with like kids' sizes, baby sizes, foot-shaped, light, slip-on, and really funky looking. And then Paper Krane, I've switched out the C for a K because my name's Kate. So that's literally why it's Paper Krane with a K. And yeah, I think that's, yeah.
So you like doing origami then?
Yeah. I haven't done it for a while because I'm busy with the other paper cranes, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, making paper cranes itself, takes a lot of, practice, obviously. And like how creating a design, like it's from start to finish, it's cool. I grew up in Japan, so
Wow.
I remember making paper cranes in school and whatnot. So what your models and collections that you have, obviously it kind of speaks volume to itself that you are very unique because of the fact that it's vibrant. It stands out from amongst others, which I think a lot of people can relate. Like they like that, and they see like they want that type of authenticity of what you produce, and what kind of shows like their personality. So that's awesome. I love that you have various numerous colors and numerous designs, obviously. So kind of help us also like, how did you get into Barefoot Shoes? Was there a certain event, a thing that happened to you, or was it just kind of came across?
It just kind of moved on from creating those really small sizes. And then one of my customers became my business partner, now former business partner, but our kids were growing. And while I kept the business going and sewing from like my kitchen table, she helped reach out to a few people sort of in the footwear industry in Melbourne. And then that's how we found our connection to Vietnam. We didn't want to go to China, so it was great that we found someone who actually had connections in Vietnam. And then we sort of went over there, met with a few different places, and went from there. But essentially, I got into Barefoot Shoes because I was like, why don't they have these fun types of shoes for adults like the ones I'm making? Yeah, that's pretty much it. We just kept growing.
So what year was this that you founded Paper Krane?
Back in about 2012, and then 2016, we incorporated into a company and went overseas to manufacture.
Help me to understand, obviously, people who are, looking into the podcast about shoes, like the process of making a shoe. Why can't you make it locally? Why do you have to go overseas? And like, how hard is it to produce these shoes?
I think once you find like your factory, it gets a little bit easier, obviously, to produce the shoes. But here in Australia, they did have a footwear industry, but it died in the 90s. And then they all moved over to Vietnam or China, other Asian countries. So actually the first factory we landed with, he had run one here in Australia first. So type of shoe that we wanted to make, there's no machinery here for sewing on that type of sole. There's no one with the skill set to do it. So we tried. We tried for about a year. We went to rubber manufacturers. We went to a whole bunch of different places. And
I guess for you as the founder of Paper Krane, when you're making shoes, especially the design aspect, what's the process of starting? Like, do you get a idea, or what goes into creating a shoe? Because obviously someone who doesn't know anything about design aspect of start to finish, what goes into it? How long does it take?
Well, generally we start with like a sketch. So all of the shoe profiles that we have, like the sneaker or that mid top there or the high top or the Velcro shoe. I've generally drawn what that looks like. And then basically it's just a process of deciding what this collection or this round of production will look like. And because we're not really just black, just brown, beige, it's a bit more fun and sometimes a little bit more difficult because when you're making shoes, you need to often order like minimum quantities of materials and things like that. So when I do like a shoe like this, which has like a yellow detail here, it has pink here, purple inside, and then this print, we have to order large enough quantities from those producers. So then we'll think, okay, we can do another pink shoe or another yellow shoe in a different way. Yeah. A lot of the time it just starts with drawing. You draw up an idea and then the factory will go out, source all those materials, make the samples. We'll get the samples approved, make changes, that kind of thing. Yeah.
So from start to actual, starting the creation process to actually having it in your hand as a sample, does it take months, a year? What?
About 6 months. It can take longer. It it just depends. Like at the moment, I'm trying to have an order every 6 months for like the stockists that we have and for us, just to keep things going because the last couple of years we might have one big order and we'd get to about 9 months through the year and run out of product. So, and then we'd be waiting like 3 more months for the next lot of shoes to arrive. So, yeah,
So
I'm
that's
trying to,
there's constantly you're just trying to figure out how much shoes do you need to have in stock,
yeah,
but you can't like foretell, right? Like, oh, this
no,
is how.
especially the way ours look. We can't tell which ones are going to be a hit or not. So sometimes we don't have enough and sometimes we have way too many. And then we learn a little
Mhm.
bit each time we go.
So let's talk about like what makes Paper Crane unique. Tell me what's typically like your I don't know, like your inspiration, I guess, when you're creating the design, because there's so many different fabrics, materials that you're using, the different models as far as low top, high tops, the Velcros. I mean, what really goes into saying, you know what, let's go with this design, let's go with this style.
Um, I think like every shoe has to have that paper crane vibe to it. Um, Really, it's just about creating something. And actually, our adult shoes are our most popular shoes now. We do kids' shoes, obviously,
Hmm.
but for the adults that are now, part of our community, it's just creating things that sort of, I don't know, it's like you're a big kid and you've got like the shoes that are so fun and they make you smile when you look down at them, and they make other people smile and they start conversation. So it's just about being, I don't know, finding something that so like sparks your soul or ignites your soul, and then your soul like SOLE as well. So
Literal. So,
yeah, literal soul. Like our probably our favorite ones are like obviously our rainbow soles that we do, and we do like the matchy matchy, so like the big and the small.
yeah.
So that's popular, like parents being able to sort of match with their kids. But it's really just like the shoe is a little bit cheeky, it's a little bit fun, and it's just for like the grown-ups who didn't really ever grow up. Or now I can get the shoes that I always wanted when I was a kid kind of vibe.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Because is that kind of how, like you're saying, I remember you're saying that you love shoes and whatnot. So it's really based on like maybe your story of like how much you love shoes and like being a kid. Like you're just trying to be more playful. I don't know, just still being a kid at heart, right?
Yeah. I think so. Like, I mean, I get my love of shoes from my dad, who he loves shoes. Like he has probably the largest shoe collection of any, now 70-year-old man I've seen. He would have like green suede chucker boots, and he's got like, I mean, I hope one day I have a size that fits him because his feet are like size 14 or something. But yeah, so I get that sort of excitement around shoes from him. But then I think this color is really just like the inside coming out, like
Mhm.
being expressed in something that everyone can see and everyone can have a piece of. I mean, we do like obviously you've got blue pairs there and like a little bit cream. We do a brown, black, and beige as well. Like our school shoes, our black school shoes are probably our biggest sellers, but the fun ones are what people come for and stick around for.
Yeah, I think just being unique out there. I think really standing out. Obviously, we know the Skittle colors, the rainbow colors that you have, like that really stands out. Obviously, amongst others, if you're walking around. So definitely great conversation starters. Even getting into barefoot shoes,
Yeah.
which
Yes. Yeah.
most times I think if you see barefoot shoes, it's these wide clown shoes or overly huge wide toe box, but these are not as wide for people to say these are barefoot shoes because it's so sleek and the design it makes it so that it's easy for someone to coming into conventional to barefoot shoes saying, hey, this is a great transition. You can still have style and have function. So that's what
Yeah,
I love about
that's
it.
definitely something that was, or that is factored in with every design is that when you look at it, it doesn't necessarily look like what you imagine a barefoot shoe looks like. Some of them look like quite street or, like that modern. We've got like the high top. We've got these ones now with the, you know, elastic laces slip on. They kind of look like that Converse high top style.
Hmm.
And they will come in probably some more muted colorways as well, some other fun prints. That's a really great new style that we have. Oh yeah, we just really want it to be sort of like an easy brand for someone who's brand new to barefoot to step into, and not be like, well, these aren't too different to what I was wearing before.
So let's go over like show us some of the aspects that you love about or that you're proud of or took a while to even create your shoes. So if you want to talk about even the soles, the laces, I mean the materials, like what are you most proud of for Paper Crane and the way that it is today?
I just think that when you put a pair on, that they just feel so comfortable already. Like they're soft, you don't need to break them in. The materials are all really have a lot of give. They're flexible. They're going to move with you. I love the new boots that we're doing and like the just don't high tops and those mid tops you've got there. They've all got the elastic laces, so they're really like quick to put on. They're accessible. Like a lot of people can slip their feet in. We're trying to think ahead to maybe make some more shoes that are even more accessible for people who have like AFOs or SFOs. Like one of my friends, her son, he's a teenager. He's got like the big AFOs on his feet and ankles, and there aren't a lot of shoes out there that look nice that can accommodate hardware like that. So that's a thought for the future as well.
Hmm.
But yeah, just that they're so comfy for when people go into them, and yeah, that they make them feel happy.
How about what are some of the benefits of barefoot shoes that you love to share with your customers? Why should they get into barefoot shoes?
Or just that they're like the foot shape thing is probably the most important one. That they're letting their toes, be free, and probably the shoes feel a little bit big when you come out of your previous type of footwear into a barefoot shoe. Like I would roll my ankles all the time. I used to wear like, Nike, whatever, those type of shoes. And I would just go like I'd step on the edge of something and my ankle would go over. So I've actually got all this extra bone growth on my ankles from how badly I stretched, that area. So the bone's grown to try and hold it. I discovered that when I was living in Korea, actually, and they were like, "Oh, unless you're like a really big athlete, don't worry about surgery. Just live with it." But I haven't rolled my ankle for like 10 years since wearing barefoot shoes. So just I don't know. I probably don't talk about it enough, but I love talking about like that ground to brain or foot to brain connection that you get and how fast your body can react if you're going to roll your ankle or you're going to step on something. Your body reacts so much faster when it can feel it. So I love talking about stuff like that.
Yeah, that's pretty important. I think on the over padded cushion sole, obviously it takes away the sensory receptors. I know so many people who have, I've interviewed just talked about like how we lose function at the foot, the bottom, because there's, sensory organs, there's nerves, there's bones. So there's a lot that goes on when you're thinking about that's the first thing that touches the ground, it's your foot. So you might as well have something that's, you know, protecting your feet, but also having that feedback, like you're saying, because even myself, if you're wearing Crocs, and it's so easy to just walk on uneven terrain and
Yep,
turn your
just
ankle.
over
So
you go. Yep. Yeah, that's been the biggest for me. That's probably the biggest benefit that I've had personally, other than like my feet feel much stronger. I don't get aches and pains in my feet or up my legs like I used to. So yeah, it's good.
how have you grown Paper Crane from the time that you started back in 2012 till now? Like, what's been the journey like?
Well, obviously started small, basically like making, 1 to 200 pairs a month, putting them online and they would sell out within like 2 minutes. So we had like a little bit of like a culty vibe to the brand in the beginning, which funny now because everyone says barefoot shoes are a cult. But and then obviously growing to Vietnam, and we were able to sort of expand into bigger kids, which was really great. But in the recent years, we've started going to barefoot shoe expos. So that we just got back from the one in the UK, and it's just been really cool to meet other brands, other people who are really interested in bringing barefoot shoes to be more mainstream. Yeah, so doing stuff like that is really exciting. We only really just started using like Facebook ads a couple of years ago, so we're really, really late to that. And yeah, pretty much just using Instagram is how we grow it. But yeah, I'd love to do more expos or trade shows, go out and meet, like even traveling to meet stockists, things like that, is exciting.
How do you come across stockists since you're is probably all over the world and you're in Australia, but you have stockists here in the US or even abroad, I'm assuming. So where did they how does that come about?
Actually, all of the ones that we have approached the business. So one of them, the one in the UK, we've actually had for the longest since 2017 or 2018. So we've had them for quite a while, but they just emailed or messaged. That's something we need to get better at as well as being active and going out and finding stockists. But yeah, so we've got stockists in Germany, the UK, France, the US, and a bunch of other small EU countries. But at the moment, they're waiting for us to have more of like a local distribution ability. But yeah.
And then what's your goals for Paper Crane for the next 5 to 10 years? Like what are you hoping to accomplish? Do you want more different models, different collections? Do you want to get into
Sorry, you hear that one? Yeah, so for the future, I think obviously the model at the moment is obviously the styles change a lot and regularly. So maybe having more of like a regular collection that is available all of the time. And then like the special ones. And then the school shoe collection is one that I'm growing at the moment with a brand new school design because my daughter's off to high school next year. So they have different regulations around school shoes here, which are not very barefoot. So I'm trying to create a barefoot shoe that could also be a dress shoe, but it basically looks like a normal high school black thing with a chunky sole, but the sole isn't chunky
uh-huh.
kind of thing.
So I'm
If that
assuming what
makes sense.
no, it does. It does. Your typical black dress shoes, like the Mary Jane type of shoes, you mean?
Well, yeah, those are not allowed Mary Jane shoes at high school, but yeah,
Uh-huh. Okay.
it'll be something like a lace up, but look more look.
Gotcha. And how do you see the barefoot shoe industry evolving in the future?
Sorry, you froze there at the end. I don't know if it's my internet.
No,
Maybe.
I was just asking you, how do you see barefoot shoe industry evolving in the future?
I think, well, there's already a lot more coming along that are maybe trying to do a little bit of what we do with the color and the prints and the things like that. So it'll be really good to, I think there'll be a lot more. I mean, there already is. Like when I started, there was maybe 10 barefoot shoe brands. Now there's like hundreds of them. So I think it'll just become more mainstream. But I think what people will need to be careful of is these ones that are coming along and they're saying they're barefoot, but they're not barefoot. Like they've got a heel raise or something. I think like Barefoot Brit, she cut open a shoe recently and it sort of revealed a heel raise. So I think there'll be a lot more availability of barefoot shoes, but I think we'll have to be a bit more savvy, not just go for whatever's the cheapest, even though price is important. But I think there'll be a lot of shoes to watch out for, but there'll be a lot more cool stuff coming, a lot more different styles, and there already is. So I think it's just going to keep going.
Yeah, I think there are definitely various brands that are coming out with, different purposes, whether it's in the athletic population or even within the athletic population. Like you have like, golf shoes, rock climbing shoes, your cycling shoes. There are those options in barefoot style, right? So
Yeah.
that's pretty very unique to have because it's not thought of as a barefoot shoe for in that specific sport. So yeah, I think it's more people who are getting into barefoot shoes. There's always going to be a need for, oh, I need it in this purpose for my life and whatnot. So, and then last but not least, what are some ways that you plan to create more awareness and exposure for Paper Crane?
I mean, obviously, it would be good to to chat to some more podcasts, maybe. And then, yeah, just locally, like I think even just talking in my own community, like there's already a bunch of people who are making the switch to barefoot shoes. So just sort of at that community level, I'd really love to see, make some changes there, help people feel and see the difference between their current shoes and barefoot shoes. And yeah, just keep telling people about, barefoot shoes don't have to be boring.
Yeah. Because I do see you doing some collab posts with different individuals to come up with different types of barefoot shoes, colorways, and designs. So I love that. I love that you're
Yeah.
collaborating and working with people
Yeah, we
who.
love working with, we always love working with local artists or other brands or designers or even other people in the barefoot shoe industry. Like I've done a few fun videos with a couple of the barefoot blog, barefoot review people. So I'd love to do more of those as well.
Cool. And how can people learn more about what you're doing at Paper Crane? So if you want to share with the audience your social media handle, email, and of course, website, or any way to contact and learn more about what you're doing there at Paper Crane.
Yep. Well, mostly I hang out on Instagram. So that's Paper Krane _ PK on Instagram. It's just Paper Krane with a K on Facebook. I do have a TikTok account, but I'm not on there very often. But that's also Paper Krane _ PK. And then the website is paperkrane.com.au. And so that's pretty much the best way to see what we're up to. On our website, we've got a bunch of blog posts. We've got, obviously about pages. All of our products have like big description and stuff like that. We try to have a bit of fun with it. So
Cool. Oh, and of course, last but not least, what are some sneak peeks that you can give us about what's coming ahead for Paper Crane?
for this one, like this is actually a vegan model. And this is a collaboration with a local artist, Di Nowinski. She's actually like one of the next suburbs over from me, so it's pretty cool. It's like a printed check or plaid, and then purple sole, and might be a few things on the shelves behind me there that you can see. More boots, more rainbow boots. Well, this one's pretty cool. Can I reach it with my headphones? So we've done this one before, but
Mm-hmm.
we did all black, and that's a really cool, like, my camera's going, so like a really cool tall boot. It's like nice and softly lined, and then you've got like elastic laces, but you've also got like the zipper. So
Ooh.
that's called the snug boot.
Uh-huh.
And it's actually like cotton and a vegan leather. Um, yeah, that's coming.
That looks dope.
Yeah. We've got more of these too. More of these, but with like an eyeball print and yeah, fun stuff.
Cool. That's exciting. The boots are very unique. I think those are awesome.
We did them a few years ago,
Hmm.
and we're just trying to perfect the design on them. So, but yeah, they're a really nice one, really soft and slip on.
Cool. Well, thanks, Kate. Thanks, Kate, for hopping onto the podcast. Appreciate you sharing your story, obviously, and being this your first one. So, love for you to hopefully continue to collab and work together. I think there are spaces for people like yourself who've been doing this long enough. I'm seeing the growth of it, and so appreciate you for doing all the work, and of course, making this place very colorful. So, thank you for hopping on.
Thanks for having me. Hopefully, I did all right for my first podcast.
That is splendid. And for those of you who are listening, don't forget to subscribe to the Stretch to Go podcast. We release new episodes 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Fridays. Thanks, everyone. Bye bye.
So yeah.